Hello, listeners. Eric Roper here. It is late August here in Minnesota, and that can mean one thing. It's the State Fair. The State Fair begins this week, and Curious Minnesota is going to be holding some very fun events that are happening at the fair that I wanted to let you know about. So the first is on Saturday, August 24th. That's this Saturday if you're listening on the week of the 19th. And that is Curious Minnesota Day at the Minnesota Star-Tribune's building. Now, we've done this in the past. We're going to be soliciting questions from fairgoers who are walking by us in the morning. And then in the afternoon, we're going to put a bunch of those questions up on a big board. And we're going to ask people walking by to vote on their favorite questions. So then we will tally up which are the winning questions. And then we are going to answer a number of those questions in the column and also on this podcast. Ideally, these questions should be about Minnesota in some way. The most votes last year went to the question, how much flour would it take to turn Lake Superior into bread? Which prompted a great story and a podcast by our Duluth correspondent, Krista Lawler. Other past winners of our State Fair Day have included why do Minnesotans have accents, what is the oldest building in Minnesota, and what was the first movie filmed in Minnesota. So I will be out there with my colleague, Erica Pearson, recording people's questions for the podcast. And so if you're a fan of Curious Minnesota and you have a question for us, we'd love to meet you at the fair. That's this Saturday, August 24th. We're going to be going from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. You can submit a question between 9 a.m. and 1 p.m. Then the following Wednesday, August 28th, Erica and I are going to be recording a live Curious Minnesota podcast episode at the fair at 1 p.m. We're going to be talking actually about the history of the Minnesota Star-Tribune. And later that afternoon at 4 p.m., there is going to be a Curious Minnesota-themed trivia competition. So those are both happening at the Minnesota Star-Tribune's building, which is on Carnes Avenue. And just the easiest way to find it, I feel like, is between the grandstand and the DNR building. If you're wondering why I'm saying Minnesota Star-Tribune, we've actually recently changed our name as part of a transformation of this company. I'll have more to say about that on the next episode, but in the meantime, check out the new StarTribune.com. I hope to see some of you at the fair.